Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Real Housewives after show. All right, y'all. So this is going to be quick because I was having a conversation. I think I've said this before like 55 times. I'm gonna say it again. I was having a conversation with my sister, and I really don't understand the point of the after show because I feel like if you have the after show, then what's the point of having the reunion? Or if you have the reunion, what's the point of having the after show? I guess it's all about making money, right? Um, Marlo'S apology, was it fake or was it real? I'm gonna go ahead and say something. Um, I feel like Marlo'S apology, she was sincere. I do believe it. Um, I believe it was a real apology. Um, but then it's stuff like this where I'll be looking at Marlo sideways. Like okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Marlo said that she didn't know that Drew was going to bring up the incident that happened at OLG. But I could have sworn I heard, didn't somebody say, or Marlo said, that maybe I'm making this up. I could have sworn that Marlo said, am I making this up? Yeah. Marlo says that the producers, so I thought somebody had said one of the producers wanted them to bring up the incident. And Drew was the one, I guess, who was like, okay, I'll bring it up. Didn't somebody say that? Or did I say that's what I thought probably happened? Maybe I said I thought that's what happened, but I feel like somebody said that's what happened. And that's when Drew brought it up, but Drew was nervous too. And so instead of her saying the S word, she said the I word. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Maybe I said I feel like that's what happened. Hmm. Either way, I still think that Marlo's apology to Drew was sincere. Um, um, Drew saying incident. The truth of the matter is, when Drew brought it up, we did know, girl, when she said incident, what Drew was talking about. Um, Marlo says later on in the after show that girl supposedly, I don't know, girl. Supposedly the nephew signed up to be on the show. OLG. Y'all heard Sheree try to throw that shade. Are you talking about the one that got canceled? Ugh. First of all, I don't think they got canceled because anyway, it don't even matter. Um Marlo says that her nephew signed up to be on the show. I think he worked at Blaze. Did he work at Blaze? Girl, can I say this is what I think happened? I'm going to tell y'all what I think happened. I think that because the cameras were going to be around, they probably made all the employees sign a release form like, "Hey, you may be on TV." This is what I'm thinking in my head. Tell me if I'm wrong or right on how this works. The people in TV, y'all would know. I'm thinking because he worked and because the camera sometimes might be at Blaze, even though the majority of the show is called Old Lady Gang. But just like Lisa Vanderpump, her show is called Vanderpump Rules, and we know that it initially started out in Sir, and then when she, got Pump together, they would, go to Pump sometimes. So I'm thinking maybe all the employees had to sign a piece of paper, not had to, but to, say, hey, the cameras may be around X, Y, and Z, because I just don't believe Candy knew him like that. I think Candy knows the people I think Candy probably knows a face or two. And I think that Candy knows the people that were on the show, the cast. But Marlo's saying, "Oh, but it's like, but the show wasn't even being taped at Blaze. The show was being taped really like a good chunk. I think we saw them a couple of times at Blaze during the first season. Well, I guess the last season too, during OLG, the show, right? But other than that, girl, I was like, I don't know, Marlo. I don't want to say Marlo was lying, but Marlo probably just didn't have the full information. And she's like, oh, he signed. He said he was going to be on the show. If he was going to be on the show, out of everybody, Candy would know. He wasn't going to be on the show. We probably would have saw his face in the background stirring some mashed potatoes and gravy. But girl, he wasn't going to be on the show though. You know how like we saw some of the other girls and boys down to OLG, but girl, they wasn't necessarily on the cast, but they were on the show technically. Hello, like at the end of the day, I don't want to sound insensitive. The truth of the matter is, girl, Marlo, your nephew, unfortunately transitioned some years ago, and now we're making this big hoopla about it. Why are we talking about this like 3 years later? If it was an issue, it should have been an issue then. I'm gonna shut up because I don't want to come across as insensitive or an asshole. But I pretty much have covered that and talked about it in other videos. So if you want to go watch the previous Real Housewives of Atlanta review videos, then feel free. But I don't feel like going down that road no more. Drew and Scene. We talked about Candy last night in my live, and I'm going to say this again. The truth of the matter is, I always felt that Candy wasn't wrong for saying and scene. A lot of people felt like Candy was wrong. A lot of people felt like Candy was insensitive. Kenya even said that Candy was insensitive, right? And then Candy came out allegedly on her Speak On It show and said that the producer had stepped in and told them they needed to crank it up a notch. And then that's when Sheree and Drew got into it. And then Drew bust out crying. So she knew that was acting. So she didn't really care. And I also said that's one thing I did not like about Candy, because the truth of the matter is, girl, and this is the Dr. Candy, Dr. Heavenly, and everybody else who got a YouTube channel who come down here trying to give us behind the scene tea. Girl, we don't need to know the conversations that are being had behind the scene in order to make the show a show. We know that this is a produced reality TV show. Why would you want to come down to YouTube and then let everybody know, oh yeah, girl, that shit was fake anyways? Because Candy didn't want to look like a bitch in front of people. So instead of her just taking her L and doing what she did on the after show and just apologize and say, oh girl, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come across as insensitive. I didn't mean to kind of brush over your feelings. I'll make sure I do better in the future. Instead of her just saying that, she didn't like the fact that she was getting slack for coming across as an asshole, right? So she wanted to fix it. And her trying to fix it, she pretty much threw the whole show under the bus, in my opinion. Oh, that was fake. They had just had a conversation about turning it up. That's why I went to the restroom. Like, huh? One thing I've always liked about Kenya Moore, the edit that Kenya Moore got was an edit that Kenya Moore got. She wasn't running down to YouTube. She wasn't running down to Twitter trying to tell you the conversations that she had with X, Y, and Z behind the scenes. This what happened. That's why I led up to this. Girl, like, no, girl. If you think I'm a bitch, then you think I'm a bitch. I know the truth. I think it's a slight difference. I'm going to shut up. Because some of y'all say Heavenly be doing it, but I don't be seeing Heavenly do all of that. I ain't never seen Heavenly throw production under the bus the way that I feel like Candy did, the way y'all said Candy did. I really did not like that y'all told me that Candy had said that on Speak On It. I didn't. And this is coming from me who felt like Candy wasn't even wrong. Even before I found out like that it was pretty much Drew was acting, I still didn't think Candy was wrong because I've already explained it. I didn't think Candy was wrong. But now y'all coming and telling me, so now I feel like I'm really validated in the way I felt. Like, oh girl, now I definitely know I'm not wrong because Candy already told us that the shit was fake. Anyway, she'll apologize to Drew and say that she's sorry. Now I didn't know this. Kenya said that Candy and Drew are close. I didn't think they were close because I heard even Drew say we're building a friendship, but based off what Kenya Moore said, Candy and Drew are close. Kenya talks about her falling, and girl, it was a sign. Kenya, it was a sign. Girl, it was a banana peel right in front of you. You fell. You ain't getting no hotel room. You ain't getting no money. Girl, it was slippery. Girl, girl, quiet as it's kept. Girl, even if it wasn't no sign out, girl, it was raining. Girl, you fell. Girl, point blank period. Um, they had a quick conversation, Drew and Candy, about Sheree's new face. Listen, one of my, the truth of the matter is, girl, we're not gonna sit here and act like Drew that Candy that's what's her face ain't got no new face. Sheree. I try and stay away from I'll say I don't like your dress. I'll say I don't like your shoes. I'll say I don't like your wig. But I really try and stay away from like a woman's physical, because I feel like that's like, you should, But I've dropped the ball sometimes. And I also feel like in this situation, girl, we got to talk about it. Like, you just can't pop up on my TV screen with a whole new face. Girl, we just don't address the new face in the room. Like, girl, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sheree needs to leave her face alone. Sheree is a gorgeous woman. Sheree halfway don't even look like Sheree no more. My sister thinks that Sheree, with that purple outfit on, with the purple top, she thinks that she has just got some work done probably, and it hadn't really settled. And she went straight to the confessional. Instead of saying, girl, I can't shoot today because I just got some shit in my face and it needs to kind of like, yeah, I'm still looking a little puffy. Okay. I don't know. But girl, Sheree, that was the first time I had ever looked at Sheree and thought that she was unattractive. And maybe I thought that she was unattractive because I knew that Sheree had a new face. Even on the after show, Sheree is starting. Even on the after show, currently, Sheree really don't look like Sheree. You know it's Sheree, but you also know like, oh Sheree, like Sheree, girl, oh Sheree. If you didn't know any better, you could probably low-key think it was a new cast member. Candy still looks the same. Kenya still looks the same. Marlo still looks the same. Sonya looks the same. Drew looks the same. Sheree is a new cast member. They talk about Sheree's ringer on her phone. Girl, listen. Let me tell you something. I got the same ringer. Maybe I'm old. Listen to my ringer. I don't know. I like an old school ringer. I like to know that my phone is. I know that sounds so crazy. I love an old school ring on. I used to back in the day. Now don't. Now I could show y'all my real age and start putting songs for. You know what? I think I might change it. You know what? I'm about to go back to the early '99 and the 2000s. I'm about to start girl putting songs, girl, as people's ringtones. Drew's lawsuit. She says it wasn't about the money. It was about the principle, girl. And I think again, even though we know it's fake now, I wish we wouldn't have known that it was fake. We know this shit be fake, but girl, like, girl, you said it was a principle, but girl, you had snot. You were hyperventilating, girl. Your lashes falling off, girl. All over $1,000. I wish Candy just would have stood in her shit. Damn, I don't know why that bothered me. It really did. Like, I just wish Candy would have stood in her shit and said, yeah, I said it because, girl, at the end of the day, we're not going to sit here and act a fool over $1,000. Pay the $1,000. I understand it's a principle, but I'm telling you, someone who has probably been sued before, girl, it's best to have your mind intact and not be stressed out, crying, hyperventilating over $1,000. Pay the bitch $1,000 and, girl, just let it go. I wish Candy was more like that instead of, girl, it was fake. Girl, what? I'm just getting mad all over again. And then Drew talks about shooting in Chicago and how she got in trouble basically for saying the word. I guess what she was basically trying to say is you have to be sensitive whenever you're going to start talking about things that really affect people. You have to just be careful about the language that you use. So when you sit here and you say stuff like, "Oh, we don't even say the word shooting in Chicago," you know, just be mindful of the conversations that are being had. Just be mindful of the language that you use because there are people out there who have probably lost someone to shooting. So somebody could take that as though you're dismissing the fact that there are shootings. I don't know. I don't know what you were saying, Chad. I really don't give a damn part of this kid. But just be careful about what the stuff that we say. Be sensitive to folks' feelings, okay? That's the moral of the story. All right, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.